folks, and welcome to Subjective Thoughts. And our comic for today is Solar, Man of the Atom, Alpha and Omega by Valiant. Now there is fighting, shooting, some violence, destructions, explosions, attempted murder, weird science shit, and a lot more destruction in this one. So if you are in any way squeamish, you have been warned. Also, spoilers. Alright, here's the team. So, now when I got this solar trade, I didn't know what it was about, because as you can see the cover's fully black. You can't fucking tell here. I really wish they fixed they I don't know, made the letters, give them lines, something. It's not a good design, in my opinion. But anyway, yeah, I didn't know what it was, but I'm currently now reading through my trades. So I picked this one up next. I opened the poly bag, and when I saw it was going to be the origin of Solar, I was ecstatic. I was like, holy shit. My friend Lear got this for me, but I didn't know what it was, but I have a few single issues of Solar, but they're way ahead in the series, so I never knew his origin. Funny enough, though, I have learned of his end, because before this I finished reading Magnus Robot Fighter Invasion. So yeah, I started this 2 days ago, and I'm already finished, because I just read through it. It was so cool. Alright, so let's get started. So Solar, or Philippe Selesky, I'm probably butchering his surname, my apologies, but I'm not even sure how to pronounce that. And he's, why don't you even call him a nuclear scientist? Not exactly, but it starts with him in his apartment, and you see a big light. And there's a problem in the radiation research facility where he works. And he sees all of this, and he says, I'm playing dice with the gods, and everyone else loses. So he runs out to his apartment while putting on his shoes, seeing all the people. It's like this little town, and they have that research facility. He drives to the facility, and he sees everyone, the Dr. Dobson there. Oh, he's also a doctor, but I think maybe for nuclear science. Again, I'm not sure. I don't think they even really specify that. But anyway, I forgot to say, he was conceived by Bob Layton and Jim Shooter. But that's interesting. Yeah, so he goes there, he sees everyone. This is where we first see Gail as well, his wife later. Or lover. I don't know if they ever got officially married. But anyway, he sees her there. It looks like she just came back from a date or something. I don't think she's a doctor of anything, but she seems to not operate things there, like all the sensors and everything. Anyway, things are going really bad. It looks like their nuclear core is going to explode. It's already exploding, and everyone might die. And so Phil decides, he's not too tall there, average. He's got a little bit of a belly. His hairline's receding. Because he starts looking, he later develops to look like Solar, but that's not what he looked like in the beginning. That surprised me. I was like, well, wait, that's Solar. So he goes, runs to the nuclear facility. He gets there, you see two men in special suits pulling out a man and a woman out of there, and one of them says, man, don't go down there, and the other one says, I'll let him go, I'll let him burn, he's responsible for this. And he runs down the steps. Now, he took off his slippers, which is funny, because when he's in the room with all of them, with Dr. Dobson as well, which is his friend and colleague, I looked, and he looks like he's already not wearing his shoes. So I was like, wait, where did his shoes go? I know that's not important, but I just found that funny. He's already now wearing them. I even went back, I'm like, wait, was he wearing shoes? So he runs down, the stairs are so hot, they're practically, burning the skin off his feet. But he doesn't really feel much pain there, he's focused. He goes down and he finds the special suits for protection from radiation. Not that that's going to do much, since he's already been so exposed. He puts one on, at least he says it will stop the smell of this burning flesh. It looks like someone else is there with him. And later on as well, there's another someone in a suit, so I'm confused what happened there. But anyway, he goes to see what happened, why did this disaster start, and we see that one of his machines there, something became faulty, and he tries to manually shut it down. And he even thinks, oh, it looks like now I'm never going to have kids, and I never thought of having kids before. But anyway, he tries to pull the lever down, but it's not working. He does succeed, but still, it's already too late. Then it looks like there's this huge explosion, and we see him just, burning out, or whatever is happening to him. He's pulled apart. But it looks like whatever happened stopped the whole thing. The explosion, I mean. It was going to happen. It almost looks like the old Phil absorbed all of it into himself. You could say. Of course, not in a way you call it scientifically, but yeah, there we go. Yeah, and then he starts to burn, and the explosion... Well, again, it doesn't happen. He's burning, and he seems to be changing. And then, how long passes, he's suddenly surrounded by men in the same protective suits. But his flesh is completely gone. He's laying naked on the floor, and they're trying to help him if he's even still alive, which he is. So something happened to him. All that radiation, all that explosion did something to him. Something amazing and terrifying. So, they try to take him out of there to see how he is. And they're carrying him out, and one of the men says, well, let's just leave him here and bail. We're already not going to live with this amount of radiation. What a brave soldier he is, isn't he? But, anyway, so then suddenly Phil becomes extremely heavy. So heavy that he just falls out of the gurney they're carrying him in. And then he's just and not alone, but then they can't carry him. And then later on we go to Dr. Dobson. He wants to go into the room. There are two doctors outside. They don't want to risk the radiation and help Phil. And he looks at them and he says, I can't believe you took the HIPAA valve. Because all their readings after that show that there's nothing wrong with them. They can get close. He goes in, there's another doctor in there, a much younger looking one. And they're both examining him, and you see Phil looking, and he sees things differently, weirdly. You can see his nerves and everything and bone, and it's amazing. And then Phil wants to get up. He said, and Dobson tells him, Phil, don't move. We had to get a forklift to bring you here. And he's like, you don't have any skin left, because they bandaged him fully like a mummy. But then he fights them, and he gets up and takes the bandages, and he's fine. His skin is there, his hair is there. It's like, wait, you were just completely burned by radiation. What happened? But there it is. And from there he stays in the facility, the NRC. Is investigating everything, and they're investigating, trying to find out what happened to Phil. What is he doing? What is happening to him? They're doing all these tests, and of course Phil gets lonely. because he's all alone there. I don't get if he's in some room in the complex, or where is he? Doesn't look like he's in his apartment anymore. Anyway, he's got for company, he's got Miss Pillow Fluff, which is one regular pillow and then a little round pillow. You see, there's one doctor lady, Dr. Price there, who comes to see him. And, hurries to leave. She's got to go to her kid, she tells him. So that's how things continue. And they keep testing it. It looks like Phil has now these incredible powers. These really strong powers of manipulating matter. He's basically God now. He can manipulate anything he wants. And as it progresses, he gets lonely. You see, one day Gail seems to come to visit him. She's got flowers, and he's wondering what they told her about his condition. But then he waits, and it's in 2 hours, and she doesn't come into his room. So yeah, they're isolating and telling you, you have to stay like this until we figure out what's wrong with you. And I was like, but I'm not dangerous. And as it progresses, we see his relationship with Gail progresses. Now, I'll say the pacing was a bit off with them, because now Phil is originally a bit of a nerd. He even used glasses, but now he doesn't even need those anymore. He's a bit of a nerd and awkward with Gail, and well, now he says, "Oh, I don't need to eat anymore." He tells her. But I can still, do all the bodily functions and everything. And as she leaves, they end up going to dinner. And but before that, someone attempts, there's a fire that Phil sees on TV, and he actually goes and saves a mother and her 4-year-old son from dying, which Dr. Dobson tells him, you shouldn't do this. What, they're going to call you Fireproof Man now? But Gail tells him, oh, come on, he saved 2 lives. He's done something good. So after that dinner date where someone recognizes him and asks for an autograph, he and Gail kiss. And then it seems like he moves in with her. Almost immediately, but then simultaneously she's been dating someone else. But then they're already in love. They already tell each other. Yeah, I didn't understand. That seemed to have went a bit quick. I get the feeling Phil has always had something for her, but did she really notice him much before this? So yeah, it all comes to a halt with them when they return to her apartment. There's a bunch of reporters there. They want to interrogate, want to find out if Phil is... Because as this is going on, people are wondering, where is Dr. Phil Selesky? Selesky? Wish I know how to pronounce his surname properly. Let me look. Wait. There we go. Selesky. Let me just show you this before I forget. You can see it there. See right there above the guy's head? Selesky. So yeah, now Phil loses his temper, and with his powers destroys one of the reporters' camera, and then just grabs Gail and they fly away from there, which, just escalates the situation as things get bad. And then he flies Gail, who's obviously scared. He flies her back to their facility. Meanwhile, some men have come from some higher up authority or something to search through Phil's documents. Now the thing is, Phil has decided to go and destroy nuclear plants that could be endangering lives. Not in places where there aren't backups, but specific ones. And we see our favorite evil businessman in this universe. His name slips my mind now, but you see that he has a few of those plants under his name, the bastard. So it's not good. Well, Solar has beef with him later on, to be fair. But yeah, they're there to interrogate, and Dr. Dobson, although a bit angry at Phil, tells Dr. Pierce, I think her name was, to go and warn him. So somehow she thinks he's down in the facility, because they don't know where Solar is. But she goes down. Now, while Solar is there with Gale, he wants to show her what he really is. And so he starts doing all these manipulations with himself. And Gale is freaked out, and she says, "I'm sorry, Phil, I can't." And she runs, and conveniently Dr. Price comes in. She said, "Wait, I want to see it." Now, prior to this, she kind of thought that he was into her and wanted to sleep with him. Which I don't get, because she's married and she has a son. I'm pretty sure that's the same lady from the beginning, because they have the same hair. They went back, wait, was there another one? I imagine not. So, yes. So he shows her in this place where, he tells her, we just, we barely scratched the surface of all of this. We're very limited. We don't see the whole picture. We don't understand matter and all of that. And she sees it now, because there are no limits there, and if you have a low self-esteem, it really badly affects Gale. And sorry, not Gale, Dr. Price. And she starts to freak out and say terrible things about herself. She's a murderer. She's all that. And Phil's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Let me bring you back to where there are limits." And she's like, she's laying there on the floor in the material world again, like, "What have you done to me? You violated me." And he tells her, "I'm sorry." Now, to be fair, she asked to experience it. It's not like he grabbed her and forced her. And he did it because, Gale didn't want to, and he just wanted to show off to somebody. Which ended up very bad. Now, apparently they've been gone for 8 days. It seems like it's only been a few minutes, but they've been gone for 8 days. Dr. Price, gets out of there. Dobson and those men see her. And she tells, like, he's a monster. We have to kill him. Meanwhile, Solar, kind of disappears. And Dr. Dobson says, "Well, I know how to kill him." Now, he's gone for 3 months, Solar, and he's searching for Gale until he steals a letter from her mailbox, from her mother's mailbox, and finds out where she is. Now, these people, they've been keeping Gale with them, hiding her in order, I guess, to lure Solar out. Which ends up working, because he's in a payphone next to where she is, and he's telling her, "Oh, Phil, I'm so happy to hear from you. I thought, but she was scared. It's not like she hated him for it. It was too much for her. Understandable. Phil's no longer your average man anymore." Now, by this point, his body has become very well built. His hair is now fully gray, silvery. It was brown in the beginning. It looks like his hairline went a bit lower. So yeah, he's now the Solar that we know. And actually, Solar is the name is from some kind of Polish god, I think he said. Something like that. Yeah, Polish god. So the Solar, yes, now they've got him. There's Dr. Dobson's in the helicopter with Dr. Price, who seems to do a 180. She's now this agent. She knows how to kill him and shit. Like, Jesus, lady, I get it. You went through some traumatic shit, but it's not like, again, he kidnapped her. She asked to see it. And then, so they shoot him with something that she prepared, and it's like, that's it, it's gonna kill him. And it does seem to badly affect him. And then he flies up to their helicopter, and Dobson's like, Phil, I'm sorry, I didn't want this. And then he disappears, and Dr. Pierce is like, yes, I have done it. And Dr. Dobson wants to leave. He feels sick. He wants to feel sick in private. But Solar's not down for the count. He appears somewhere else. Now, for the first time since this happened to him, he feels tired. He just wants to lay down and sleep, but he has one goal in mind, and that is to go find Gale. So he ends up at some nuclear plant floating around, and he takes all the energy, and he's like, delicious. And then he flies as far away from Earth as he can, and finds some unused star, and just devours its power, its matter. And he's like, now I'm so strong that they won't be able to take me down anymore. And he goes back to Earth. Now, while they moved Gale to another hotel. And then in the helicopter, they see that Solar is back, and they're like going to fly towards him. Solar appears in Gale's room. There's one agent there, and Solar says, "Beat it, Buster, I'm going to kill you." And the agent's like, okay, I'm going. And, well, Gale's like, Solar, and she's hugging him. They're kissing. He's naked, by the way. And outside the helicopter, you see Dr. Price, Dr. Dobson, and that soldier, and like, he said, look, ma'am, I'm a good soldier, I'll do as I'm told, but based on these readings, are you sure you want to do this? Because Solar's readings are off the charts. And he's like, maybe we shouldn't make him angry. Which, again, none of this would have, escalated so much if they didn't try to attack him in the first place. Because he was already fucking powerful, now he devoured a whole star. And he's kissing Gale, and Gale, that's it, let's get out of here, let's start a new life somewhere. And but then suddenly, back in the helicopter, like the pilot's face explodes, Dr. Dobson's eyes are bleeding, so are Dr. Price's, it looks like, reality's being torn apart, Gale gets torn apart, she's now this bloody stain, and Phil's like, no, there's gotta be something. I gotta stop this, everything's getting destroyed. And then the last panel, we see him, hold, like, everything around him's in a vortex. Everywhere. And it's just, sorry if you hear TV. One moment. Right, sorry, I'm back. Yeah, so everything's, going around, and that's it. That's where the trade ends. Let me just make sure that was indeed it. 1 second. So you got some. Yeah, there the plant. Yeah, there's some gruesome shit there. Yeah, and then and then again he says, I've decided to play dice with the gods, and everybody else loses, and everyone else loses. And then I wish this would stop. And that's it. That's where the trade ends. So it's like the first, 1 to 0 to 10. Alright, so what can I tell you about the cover, as I've complained in the beginning? I wish, again, they've done some color around or embossed it or made it shiny, just so it would stand out. Because you can't, again, you have to put it to the light to fucking tell what's even happening in here. What's even written. And I don't particularly like that. Like, I want to be able to immediately see and know what this is. That's why I hate virgin covers. So there we go. But yeah, again, now the hardback does have a nice cover, though. So that's that, not much to say about it. I wish they gave it something different. Alright, let's go for the art. Now, I've said before how much I love the Valiant art style back then. Look at that, there's Phil in the beginning. There he is going out of his apartment building. Look at that art. It's nice, it's clean, it's got great colors. We should go back to this in a lot of modern stuff. Again, not all stuff now are bad, but it's not this nice and clean where, like, again, remove the speech bubbles and you can still understand what the hell's going on. You see there, he's putting on the suit, he's pulling that thing, he's trying to do something, anything, but it's not really working. Oh, there's Miss Pillow Fluff. You see? And there's Dr. Price. I think. Yes, I think it's the same lady, so I don't know what the fuck happened. Why did why did it escalate with her? Maybe she's always been crazy. There's Gail. Oh, a bit of nudity, sorry. Now you can't see anything. Okay. Let me show you Solar and his, form with the long hair and shit. Ah, there he is. There's when he's fully developed now, almost. And so that's him flying. There's Gale. So yeah, beautiful, beautiful art style. You see they're testing out his powers. Whew, look at that explosion. I really love these, you see these stripes? They always appear when Solar uses his powers, and I really like those. They're very pretty. Okay, so that was the beginning of Solar. Yeah, Solar's a decently long run. And even from those few issues that I've read over the years that I've gotten, I just love Solar. He's such a fascinating character, and I guess in a way I'm matching what happened maybe to Spider-Man, but now you're a god, you're not even human anymore. Because Spidey, despite his powers, is still a man. Maybe a superly human strong man, but he can, he still eats, he gets injured, he lives a normal life, he's going to die at a normal time. He's going to die a normal time. Just 1 second. Alright, sorry about that again. Where was I? Yeah, so he's not a normal man anymore. And Spidey still is, and we see, okay, now this is spoilers for Solar's End, so I'm sorry if anyone gets spoiled, but I've read Invasion, which is there. Now, at some point in the Valiant universe, they have, major events, which end up causing a lot of destruction on Earth. And due to those events, Solar, because he's with Gale, she lives an unnaturally long time. And she's still young as well, thanks to him. But all of her friends and everyone dies. And they're gone, and she can't take it, because keep in mind, she's a normal woman. And she asks Solar to let her go. And although he doesn't want to, he loves her, and he can't force her to stay alive with him. Because I don't think Solar can even have children now. And granted, maybe Gale never wanted any, but who knows, maybe a child would have helped Gale through this, but she doesn't want to continue on anymore, and he lets her go and she dies. And Solar is so grief-stricken that he disappears after that. He disappears from the world, not to be seen ever since that day, except in 4001, where he reappears again to help, to warn Magnus Robot Fighter of the upcoming invasion, of the spider aliens. Because the first time back then he didn't finish them off, and this time, after the battle is won and they're retreating, the spider aliens that are left, he goes after them and explodes, killing them and himself. So it's just see where it ended and now how it started. And I guess it was never going to end happily for him. Because again, he's no longer a man. He's in a sense, a very tragic character. Super powerful. He's a god, but he's all alone. His love can't take it and stay with him. And there's that one instance where now, there is Solar splits at some point in the series to two. There's another version of him that goes out to Earth to fight the spider aliens, but I wonder if that version is alive or not. I have no idea. I wonder if that one's dead too, because if not, then there's still a part of him out there. But yeah, so this is how he starts, and his ending is, I guess, heroic anyway, because he sticks around all that time, a lot longer than he hoped, and ends up saving people. Well, yes, saving Japan and the Earth again. And then hopefully finally getting the rest. Because he's basically been floating around for 2,000 years. Just floating around, waiting for this, and imagine how depressing that is. So to conclude, I bloody loved this trade. I definitely hope to get the rest of the Solar comics one day. I want the whole run, so I can read it fully. And yeah, I love this 90s Valiant universe. It was fucking awesome. Whew, alright, I've talked a long time, and considering the current climate of things right now, I'm going to stop it here. I've already been very fortunate. Okay. Yeah, that's about it. That's all I had to say about this one. A great read. If you have ever seen any Solar, I highly recommend. If you find this, give it a read. The first 10 issues, fucking awesome. Or 11. I guess you don't count. I don't know, an issue 0 is a bit of a funny thing, isn't it? I guess it's like the first issue, like a prequel, maybe. But yeah, anyway, fucking fantastic. So I highly recommend this one if you liked Valiant during that time period. And if you find this love Solar, definitely pick it up. Alright, folks, so that is it. Remember, collect what you're passionate about, share it on YouTube. Bye!